But if you can, now's the time to buy them, because the price that this was at, I think it was like 1,300 bucks Canadian before the tax, right? And because of that, it was like, you know, ebony fingerboard, wet sanded neck, 24 frets, mahogany body, maple cap, stellar looks, extremely high output pickups for that price with a really awesome bridge. And 6-way selector. So bang for the bucks. This might be one of the best pro guitars you can get. It gives you everything. You know what I mean? If it's good enough for Mark Holcomb, it should be good enough for most people. I'm gonna put time here. Oh, okay, I went over. Okay. Well, I'll keep going. I'll make a two-parter. The other things I'll say about this guitar is that it balances well, it stays in tune really well, and the tuners are really strange on this because they feel really light, but they're super super smooth. I mean, I've yet to find a Jackson, and I love Jackson. Don't get me wrong, I got Jacksons all over the place around here. I've yet to find one where at any price range that has decent tuners on it. Proprietary tuners. These are, I guess, the base model PRS tuners. But if that's what they're doing for their base model, if this is the fit and finish you get for their base model guitar, that's crazy. Well, this is not really a base model. This is kind of like a mid-tier. But PRS is also making these CE models that are bolt-ons that are like 650 bucks, all mahogany body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard for like 650 bucks. And I am one of those people that do believe in tone woods and stuff like that because you can hear it. Is it really the night and day thing? No. But if you're going to spend the money, there is no point in buying a basswood body guitar unless you just want the lightweight, or the Camu, or a poplar body guitar when you can get alder, mahogany, or ash. There's no point in spending money on any guitar that doesn't have those. For the money, like anything over $1,000 shouldn't be made out of poplar or basswood. You know what I mean? Like that's the cheapest woods possible. Even if you're not going for a tone wood thing, but just the quality of the wood. Like what? Like how can there be a $2,000 guitar or $3,000 guitar with basswood? You know what I mean? Like it's just no. Like alder's cheap, mahogany's expensive and a little more rare. Ash is a little more rare probably than mahogany in some ways. But like at least you're getting good quality hardwoods. You know what I mean? With the exception of the alder. Alder's softwood, but that said, you know what I mean? Like, you can spend your money on. I'm looking at guitars all the time, and you can spend your money on so many things. And in this price range, you can get, like, for example, Jacksons that are the same price as this with the base model pickups and tuners, and a Floyd special on it, right? With a poplar body or a basswood body, and a Laurel, a Jabota, or a Amaranth fingerboard, which they don't sound as good as the maple, the ebonies is my favorite, and of course the rosewood. Ebony and rosewood are really 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 good. The Jabota, again, a cheaper wood, doesn't sound as good. It sounds kind of rosewood like. I have one guitar with my 8 string has a Jabota fingerboard on it, and it has that kind of dullish kind of sound. It has a bit of a rosewood sound, but not quite the same quality. So again, why would you spend that much money on a guitar unless it had really good components and good quality materials? And this guitar gives you that. How PRS is able to make this thing for the price they made it for. The new one's like 200 bucks more. So I think that's just keeping up with inflation or whatever. But even at 200 bucks more, it's still a great deal. But for metal, out of all the PRSs I've tried so far, I would say this is the guitar that uh, can give you the heaviest so far. I haven't tried a lot of PRSs, to be honest with you. I've always liked them, but I've always saw them as something that was completely out of the common man's price range. And then you got the CE models and the SE models, and even the SE2s are all actually not that bad. But I think the SE line is absolutely phenomenal. You can get a pro guitar under $1,000. Could you imagine buying a pro guitar, maybe dressed down, you know, for like $650, meaning you can get on stage with any other musician in the world and that guitar will do the job for you. Well, PRS makes that. You know what I mean? Like, just look at that. Like I say, look at that new CE, bang for the buck wise. Look at that new CE model with the bolt-on neck. Now that said, that guitar doesn't have the pickups this does. That's why I say this is probably the best bang for the buck. If you can throw in the extra money, that you won't go wrong with one of these. The only thing is you have to get used to the weirdness of the 20-inch radius or 20-inch frontboard, right? And whatever. But once you do, like, and it'll take you like a week or so. You can play this thing blindfolded after a week. Especially if you're coming from Gibson scale to the 25.5 scale, yeah, you might find it a little bit weird for a little bit. But if you're coming from like any sort of 25.5-inch scale guitar, you can play this thing pretty much eyes closed, right from the get-go. It is a really, really incredible guitar to play, and for the price. That's basically, what a great buy I got on this one. You know what I mean? Very versatile, but from a metal point of view. So if you're a big effects guy, great guitar for that. If you're big on the distortion, great for that. If you're the blues guy, the country guy, I'm not saying you can't do it, but those aren't the right pickups for that. Now, if you were a blues guy or a country guy, and you did get one of these, I would recommend putting like a JB and a 59 in it, maybe. Like that would be a really good. That would be a really good. Middle of the road kind of guitar where you can still play your hard rock, a little bit of metal. You could definitely do your blues. You could definitely do your country. If you wanted to get way more vintage sounding, you could just go with the 8515S's or whatever, that basically base model PRS pickups. They'll give you kind of that PAF kind of sound, right? If you want another really nice sound, pickups, you could go with, something even, more, like say like a P94, like a P94 kind of pickup, which gives you like a P90 kind of sound, and that would be very cool too. You could put in Burstbuckers type pickups in there if you wanted. That would give you, basically you got a Les Paul here with a Fender scaled Les Paul is what you got here. And again, you can't get a Les Paul. There's no Gibson Les Paul that sounds like this. So this has the sustain of any Gibson Les Paul you've ever heard, even the old ones, even the old ones. But you've got the longer scale, but you got SG like playability or better. So again, bang for the buck. It's so much guitar for the money. So people say, oh, this guy's just trying to validate his purchase. And that's usually the argument you get, right? And I know everything is subjective, whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you get one of these and you live it, again, I'm not sponsored. Obviously, it's not my signature guitar. I don't get a cent from anything. I'm telling you this, that I bought a guitar that I really like, and I can see me owning it for years and years and years and years and years and years. Anything can happen. If something better comes along, who knows? But, man, this is one hell of a bar to beat. And I'd like to see, one last thing I'd like to say is, one thing that bugs me about PRS, and it has nothing to do with their build quality, nothing to do with the sound or the look of them or anything like that. It's that Gibson has this problem as well, is they keep building the 1960s guitar, which is great, and they should always honor that heritage and make models towards that. But they don't think of the new guy, the kid that's, the 15-year-old kid now that's learning how to shred. They're not thinking, okay, well, when that kid gets a little bit of money coming in, he gets a little bit older, and he's playing the metal. He's playing, even if you're not into that style, that's not the case, but not the point I'm making. But the point is that they don't pander to where the market is. Kids want 7-strings. They want, which I have a Holcomb 7-string, which is, I'll probably, do a video on that one too. The kids want shredder guitars, right? They want these heavy shredder guitars. You know, some of these kids nowadays, the stuff they can learn, like what used to take me, I did a video called How Gen X Learned Guitar. And yeah, compared to how easy it was for me to learn guitar, it's nothing compared to what the kids have access to today. Like a kid without any music experience within a week can be playing Ingve riffs. Maybe not very well, but that's how like there's just no guesswork. You don't have to sit there and try to figure it out by ear anymore. It's just here's the roadmap. Here's how you play it. And they can learn so fast, but they also learn all these crazy new techniques that we've never heard back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and stuff like that, right? Although I think the late 70s to early 80s is where you saw the biggest innovation of guitar tricks and stuff like that. So they're still making PRSs, with the majority of them with that tremolo thing. And I understand Fender Stratocasters doing it, but for PRS, I don't understand why they would have the majority of the guitars with that really horrible. I mean, it works well, but it's never going to stay in tune. That's fine for a guy doing a little bit of surf guitar, but either put a Floyd Rose on it or a fixed bridge like this, because this bridge is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best guitar bridges I've ever played on. It's so smooth. You can get the action so fine, and I'd love to see core models with something like this on it instead of that. And plus, it'd be cheaper for them to make because they don't have to route out the back of the body. So either put a Floyd Rose on it like that, maybe offer one or two models with the vintage stuff, but like, get models.